Hey guys, what is up? SonicHaXD here, and today I'm just going to be going through my Mortal Kombat 2021 Sucks video and talk about some behind the scenes, some deleted scenes, and I will cap this video off with a Q&A session. This is just going to be me talking through a microphone for like 90% of this whole video. I'm going to do barely any editing, as you can tell by me not even adding any background music. Ooh, that's very shocking. I always add background music to make my videos less dull. Yeah, I should just get started and grab your popcorns or whatever you guys eat over there and enjoy some behind the scenes of Mortal Kombat 2021. So before I start playing the video, because I'm going to go through it like step by step, I think I should start with my stuff before I made Mortal Kombat 2021. So let's turn the time back to like April. This is right after I watched the movie. Some people have asked me why it took me this long to make the Sucks video. Now, of course, making a Sucks video takes a lot of time, but one of the reasons is because around April through May, I was focusing on doing other Mortal Kombat 2021 content. So I made the review, which was made day one, and then I made a video kind of poking fun at the comments I got from my review because I felt like it was a little unjustified, because I felt like a lot of people who left those comments just really wanted Mortal Kombat 2021 to be a good movie. But eventually, as time went on, as people actually watched the film, then they were like, okay, we don't really need to criticize him. And then afterwards, I made the podcast, which was a very exciting event for me. I got together a bunch of big YouTubers, and then we sat and honestly chatted for a little too long. And then I made 3 videos about that situation. And to cap it all off, I made one more video talking about the Mortal Kombat 2021 tier list video with history behind the warrior. If you guys have not checked out those videos, I highly recommend it. I actually think there is a lot of stuff that is not in the 70-minute Mortal Kombat 2021 Sucks video that I've already said in those videos that, like, if you want to see some more perspectives and different stuff, I recommend you check out those videos. And also, some of those videos I actually took a very long time to edit and work on, yet for some reason the review that I took only one day to make has 120,000 views right now, and the highlight video, which I edit the 4-hour podcast and do a lot of funny memes and a lot of editing, is my least viewed video out of all the videos that I've done. So I find that to be a little ironic. So June was when I started making the video. Well, a better way of putting it is when I started writing the script, and I spent about over 3 weeks just writing that script, just kept on just working on that, and that was a long process, but I was happy when I was finally done with it. And then I just started making the video, editing it. Pretty much worked 24/7 nonstop this whole summer just trying to get this video out, and here we are. There's some other things I want to mention while editing I did, but I'll mention it while I'm going through the video. Now we shall start to play the video. Dun dun dun. Well, first things first is the face reveal. Yay guys, haha, face reveal. You know, what's kind of funny is that this is not actually the first time I've shown my face. Last year, like 2020 April, when I reached 100k subscribers, I actually did a little celebration video, and I did show my face back then. But I don't think a lot of people noticed, partially maybe because I uploaded it as a YouTube short and on Twitter, so barely anybody really noticed that. So I thought, like, okay, I guess I'll have to do like another official face reveal. In fact, fun fact, I think back in 2012 or 2013, like the second video I've uploaded onto YouTube, I also showed my face there too. And good thing nobody noticed, because if people did, I think then I would have too clinging of fans. So yeah. So this was my official face reveal, and honestly, I wouldn't even have shown my face because I don't even think I'm really ready for like an official face reveal. But the thing is, I feel like I had to show my face here because I really wanted you guys to see my reaction. This is gonna go a little deep, but in this video, me and my friends watching the movie in the theater, I want that to be in the video as kind of like the reaction of the people who first watched this movie. The feeling of how you first watched this movie, or even if you haven't even watched this movie yet, then I am giving you my perspective as to like giving you the initial reaction. I am the first time viewer's perspective into the movie, if that makes any sense. And I wanted that in this video because as I've watched this movie about like 8 or 9 times, yeah, now I completely think this movie is absolute garbage, but I don't want to take away the first experience I had with this movie, which was a lot of fun. And so there's that aspect in my video. It's like I'm thinking of like creating like a story, and I wanted to have this character journey along as I critique this movie and stuff like that. That's part of my thought as to why I implemented the face review. And of course I've got my friends who were watching with me, Kino and Ree. So I got a couple of people like talking about my two friends. they're just my high school friends. I'm pretty close with them, and we still hang out and stuff like that. I think I got some funny comments about Kino especially. I think some people say he looks like Uncaged Games. I even told him that. I you know, when I put like the comparison pictures, some of them I'm like, yo. Not gonna lie, yo. Oh yeah, boba tea. That place is really good. that's all I'm gonna say. I love this fan art that I received from Catgirl Cassie. They drew this a long time ago, but I was like, okay, I'll wait till like there's an important video, like a video that more people watch, and then I'll share Catgirl Cassie's like fan art. And I really appreciate the fan art. It's very cool, very nice.
Directed by Simon McCoy, a first-time director who's done ads for video games.
Oh, okay. So if you look up actually Simon McCoy's like autobiography, you will find actually that there's a site that actually showcases all of Simon's commercials that he has directed. And I actually looked at a couple. I was hoping I could find something to like kind of meme for this section of the video, but I sadly my brain couldn't think of too much. So instead, I just showed you guys the 2 Michael video game commercial that he directed. I feel like some people would remember this commercial. I felt like I've seen it before too. But yeah, I just thought I'd show that. Just to say like, yeah, he did this commercial.
The good, the bad, and the Cole Young.
So let me mention something about this joke here. The good, the bad, and the Cole Young. I thought of this joke around like June. I was like, okay, that's just a little silly, little funny joke that I made. However, I have to mention this. I did not know that History Behind the Warrior titled his review The Good, the Bad, and the Cole Young. So I promise you I did not steal this idea. I really did like come up with this joke. No bad feelings, Mr. History. Yeah, the beginning of the movie is still very great in the film. There's one thing I did cut out from my video and that I think about. I did not mention the intro of Scorpion's Revenge in this review. The intro to Scorpion's Revenge, the movie, is very, very, very similar to the 2021 movie. The only difference is in Scorpion's Revenge, I think it's like way better. It's way more brutal, way more gory, and it's just way more tragic in my opinion. And I think I definitely had that feeling when I was watching this movie, like, okay, look, this intro is good and all, but like compared to Scorpion's Revenge, which I think is a little unfair to, you know, compare an animated movie with this one. I guess that's why I didn't put it in my sucks video, but I did mention it in my review back in April. I guess I thought like if I put that in this video, I would downplay this scene, and I really need this scene to not be downplayed a lot because this is one of the best scenes in the whole movie. I'll just skip the fact that I think Scorpion's Revenge had a much better intro, and especially when I compare this intro to everything else in the movie, it is very, very good. Oh, I love the teleport jokes. There's so many of them in this video.
Scorpion died, dog.
This beautiful face. I love it so much. It's all over my video. Okay, so I feel like there were a couple of quote-unquote controversial topics surrounding this movie that I want to mention some, but I didn't want to go too in-depth in like every single one of them. I just want to go through the ones that like are funny or like kind of benefit the review as I go through, and this is one of them. I don't think too many people took offense to this in the comment section, at least, and I won't lie, I'm not even that offended, but I'll tell you why I decided to put this section in the video. The fact that they added a line that was never in the movie as like Chinese translation in this scene. Okay, I'll first say this though. If you make a mistake, if you translate something wrong, I think that's completely fine. You're just a little bit of a you just need to learn a little bit more. I mean, granted, this is a Hollywood high budget film. If you get translations wrong, that's a little embarrassing, but whatever. That's just a mistake. But they did not do that in this movie. They added a line to a character that did not even say that line, and they bank on the fact that the American audiences are dumb enough not to understand Chinese that they'll be like, oh yeah, that he totally said the end of your bloodline. And that to me is kind of offensive. That to me was like, oh, It's kind of trashy of you guys to do that. If you look at the interviews and the promotional stuff that they do for this movie, I don't want to go like too political, but they really thought they were gonna make the next Black Panther. They were like, yo, we got our representation in this movie. People are gonna walk out of this theater feeling empowered and stuff like that. Look, I will say this, I have to appreciate the fact that they definitely do have a lot of Asian culture stuff in this movie, and of course that's great, but don't toot your own horn that much. And because they constantly say that and they constantly promote the fact that they are, oh, we're gonna be so empowering and stuff like that, I find it like very ironic and really like, I don't feel very good seeing that they just added a line in the movie and think that American audiences won't understand. Yet they also promote how much like they want to talk about how diverse their cast is and how they're gonna make you feel empowered in this movie when they don't even care about like this aspect of the film. And that makes me feel like, yeah, I want to mention it. But anyways, that's just my little rant. But hopefully I won't get too political anymore as the movie goes on. Yes. The people like this line. Unfortunately for Simon, the funny dinosaur man knows Chinese. Fun fact about this artwork right here, I specifically commissioned this art for this line. I didn't really know if I had any other places to put like this little funny artwork of my character doing the smart anime glasses emoji. I also wanted an artwork of my character actually using the goggles, because I have the freaking goggles. I should actually use those freaking goggles, so that's why I wanted this artwork.
Dropping on so nice.
Let's go, Ko Young. Oh boy, now I guess I have to mention my Ko puns. To be honest, I really had no idea why it started, but while I was writing the script, I just started coming up with some funny little Ko puns, and then eventually I just felt like, you know, why not I just go full Ko puns? Really, that's really how it just started. And then I kind of just started brainstorming, asking people around me like, can you think of any Ko puns? Asked my Discord, and let me find my list, because I actually wrote down all my Ko puns. Here are the list of Ko puns in the video. All these I just kept here. I think there's like 62 or 64 of them. Here are some unused Ko puns too. Ko har, ko fi, ko in a way. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. This actually did take me some time to think. Sometimes I really just sit in front of my script and just like put the thinking pose man expression and just try my best to think. And then I'll just be like, Cold Stone or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, this is a weird thing, and I really appreciate people liking this section of the video. Just me coming up with a bunch of random Ko puns. It was fun, and like I'm glad people liked it too. Okay, the W and L's part. This was something else that I've always thought pretty early on in the script too, which was just calculating all the W's and L's he took. Also, I would love to mention the fact that these two images, the W and L's, were actually made by my fans in the Discord server. I think that's also one of the inspirations for the W's and L's Ko takes, and it's kind of fun to calculate all the things that, you know, all the W's and L's he takes. Okay, blah, 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 let's keep going. There was not a Ko pun here. I think the Ko pun there that I forgot to add was I was gonna put like COAL Ko for there. I did put that in the subtitles, but like I did forget to put a Ko pun there. Here's something kind of interesting. I don't know if this is because of the copy I got or if there's some sort of editing reason as for this, but when I got my movie copy to edit and stuff like that, for some reason my voice tracks like okay, let me try to say this in easy terms. When you watch a video, you have a video file and you have a sound file, right? But for some reason when I got the movie, I had the video file, but I also had like 5 sound files, and some of the sound files were less background noise and just more character sounds. So that in a way was actually kind of an unexpected blessing in a way. For example, the scene here with like Emily, you can barely hear what she's saying, like throw your uppercut and stuff like that. But because of the video file that I got, I could cut out the sound, and so Emily could sound way more clear in this part of my review. Don't tap out! Don't tap out! And I do this a lot in my review when I want to just let the people who are watching this video get to hear what they say a lot clearer. Yeah, weirdly nice in my opinion. So a lot of people like this joke that I did here where Jax sound like Joseph Joestar when he talks about the Joestar birthmark. What is interesting though is this actually was a scene that I took from my Comet Adventure video that I made back like in May. I know that video isn't that popular, so I thought I could use, and I felt like I could use this joke again in this video, but just so you guys know, that was like already a used joke. Invincible title card. This was a lot of fun to make. I actually followed like a tutorial on YouTube on how to make it. And yeah, I was really happy with this, and I felt like it was a fun joke, and I enjoyed it. Weird thing to mention, but I really love all the slaps that are in the movie. I feel like I want to do like a slap counter. So here is a double bitch slap. I felt like was pretty funny, and I added the sound effects. I had a scene here where I said like he seemed pretty chill about it, and I was gonna say like if I were him, I would scream like a little bitch, like super hard after getting my arms ripped off. But then I felt like maybe it was cold enough so that way he didn't really feel anything, or he was already almost out of it or something like that. Either way, I would have appreciated a scream. But yeah, anyways, that was the scene I deleted. Hey, there's the True Underdog appearance. I really wanted to give True Underdog a better cameo, but I had so many cameos and so many things that were on my mind, so I really couldn't like think of something too significant for Mr. True Underdog to do. So that was a little too bad, but oh well.
Wait, what? What? Damn! What a movie where Jax loses his arm to like Arcana.
Okay, so this scene where I say like, why do we need these two Outworld scenes in this movie? One of the main reasons I made this section isn't just because I felt like it was unnecessary. Like you could cut both of these scenes out, and I think it would actually help the pacing of the movie. But also the fact that this was supposed to establish more backstory for Mileena. If they established some more character backstories and stuff like that through these scenes, I think it would make more sense. But they don't even do that. They cut that out of the movie. So I just don't even think they needed both of these scenes in the film. I like the thinking emoji here. I feel like I needed my character doing a thinking emoji. Okay, I'm gonna go on a really long tangent here and mention something. I wanted to look up a lot of interviews, a lot of behind the scenes stuff, so that I could use it to help me in this review, / also make fun of the creators of this film. Or a better way of putting it is, as the saying goes, like shoot your own toe or something like that. One of my biggest inspirations as to why I even wanted to do this was like a lot of film critics on YouTube do this, but I especially got inspired by Adam from YMS. In his reviews, like while he's playing the movie, he will occasionally then show like some interview footage. You just see like the directors or producers say some very, very, very like, oh my gosh, you should not have said that kind of stuff. So I wanted to do that since the Scorpion's Revenge review. However, in that movie, there were barely any interviews out there. There was like a 1-hour cast member interview, and then there was the audio commentary, but I couldn't find anything really else. So I could only use those two, which I think still helped me out in the review, but that was kind of more like my training round. But as for this Mortal Kombat 2021 movie, oh boy, there were a ton of interviews out there. Like, by golly, I'm pretty sure I didn't even finish all of them by the time I'm done making this video. But throughout like May to like June or July, I really did nothing but just constantly listen and kept on just listening to all these interviews just to find some like funny tidbits to put in my videos and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna lie, I genuinely felt like I listened through like maybe 6 or 7 hours of like interviews and podcasts and stuff like that. And I feel like it's worth it. I feel like a lot of the scenes that I put in my video when mentioning them were some of the highlights of the video, like how they cut out the Mileena scenes, or later on when Todd says like, oh, they cut out like the rain scenes and stuff like that. A lot of people will like mention that in my comment section and stuff like that. So I think it's really worth it, and I think it makes the video much more fun. However, with that being said though, I definitely could not put every funny tidbit moment from interviews in my video because I just thought it wouldn't apply, or I really had no reason to put it. But I thought, like, you know what, I could show you some of the stuff that I've got here, since this is a behind the scenes. Here is all the footage that I have that is related to Mortal Kombat 2021, and I could not use all of them. I used some of them. For example, like the scene where they mentioned that they're cousins, or how Greg says he didn't go through the source material too much. Let's see, what didn't I use that was kind of interesting? Like, there's a news article for this, but also, you know, Todd Garner himself says this in an interview, so I didn't really need to use this picture. We've got Ed Boom liking a tweet that says, someone says he hated the new movie. Again, it's funny, but I don't really think there's a reason to put that in my video. Oh, this one is pretty funny, but I really had no reason to put it in my video, but I feel like I should show you guys anyways, because I did think it's kind of funny.
This was not an easy film to greenlight, right? If you think about it, we want to make a very faithful to the fans R-rated video game adaptation. I mean, where do you even look at? What do you even look at for comps for that? You know, how do you say, well, this movie did well? I don't even know if there is an R-rated video game adaptation. Has there even been one? I'm not even sure.
While I was watching that scene of the interview, I was just thinking, like, bruh, you did not have to shame Scorpion's Revenge that much. Come on now, Greg. But again, I didn't have really a reason to put this in my video. Maybe like an animated R-rated movie is very different than like a mainstream one. I guess. But yeah, I felt like looking at that scene, I was like, oh, you guys put a lot of shame on Scorpion's revenge there. Here's the scene where they imply how much better Ko Young is compared to Alice from, you know, the Resident Evil series.
We didn't want our character to outshine the other characters that people know and love. And I feel like, without naming other franchises that have had many films that have done this, I wonder which one I'm talking about. We didn't want a new character just to show up and be the poster child, and then all of a sudden there's Liu Kang in the corner doing something.
That's kind of funny in my opinion, how he thinks Ko Young is better than Alice. I mean, to be fair, it's kind of hard to compare. Oh, this one's kind of funny. This one isn't really a behind the scenes, but there was like a promotional app about how you can look like Mortal Kombat characters, and instead of it being called Arcana, it's called Arcana. Very cute. And finally, I guess I'll just play the scene.
You know, if you go back and watch the original Scorpion and Sub-Zero, they're silent antagonists. They don't do anything other than kind of have a couple fight scenes, and that's it. So those characters have grown exponentially in Mortal Kombat over the years, and have arguably become the poster children of the franchise now. So we wanted to lean into that for our adaptation and really give the fans the Scorpion and Sub-Zero stuff that they never got in 1995.
And honestly, I kind of agree with that statement from Greg. As weird as this is going to sound, but Mortal Kombat 2021, if you compare it to the other films, probably has the best depiction of Scorpion versus Sub-Zero in cinema. Now, I don't know if this statement would change when Battle of the Realms is released, but like, yeah, they have the best Scorpion versus Sub-Zero, I guess, in a weird way. Actually, there's one more thing I could show. So like that folder was all like the videos that I downloaded. Here are like videos that I did not download, but I did watch. I did like write some notes down as to whether or not I wanted to use them or not. We had a funny interview here where like the cast member says, "Who do you want to be?" And Sonya says, "I want to be Reptile." And Kano was like, "I want to be Goro." It was pretty funny. Simon really likes to mention how much he wants you to feel like you're in the world, make you feel like you're in this movie, make it very real and stuff like that. He does say that a lot in his interviews. Speaking of Simon, I do want to mention something. A lot of things that I put in the interview section of like what people say and stuff like that are mostly like what Greg Russo says. I will be honest, I do appreciate like Greg coming out and saying all these things, because they do give a lot of insights as to why they decided to do this and why they decided to do that and stuff like that. And honestly, I barely could find good things that Simon says to put in my videos. I guess Simon just doesn't have a lot of interview footage, sadly, which I would have preferred putting him more, but Greg Russo was the one who came out and said a lot more about the movie. So that's why you didn't get to see Simon in my review that much. Oh, I remember this one. There was an interview where Sissy Stringer says like, oh, like she loves the fans and like she's getting a lot of like support on like Instagram or something like that.
I like being really connected to the fans. Like we talk on social media quite a lot. And they send me things, and when I was researching for the character just after it had been announced that I got it, they would send me things, and you know, they'd send me messages saying, please make her a three-dimensional character, like please don't let her be killed in the film, please don't let her just be a pet, you know. So that was really inspiring actually, and very, very helpful. So shout out to the fans for helping me out with that.
But yeah, overall, here are just some clips that I did not use in my video, but I feel like I could show you guys. And if you are interested in looking at the interviews yourself, you could look at the screen right now or ask me for links. Okay, back to the movie. I want to specify a little bit about this scene right here where Greg says like, oh, I had a lot of like stuff I talked about for Mileena, about her backstory and Katana and Edini and stuff like that. But then like Greg cut it out and stuff like that. I will say this is definitely a L on Simon's part. Greg Russo takes a lot of L's in my video, I will admit. But Simon, the director, I really couldn't find too many L's that I can specifically be like, well, that's his fault kind of a thing. But definitely why Mileena is such a boring character and why we don't know much about Mileena, that's definitely partially Simon's fault. Okay, so interestingly enough, I love the reference land joke. But interestingly enough, somebody told me in the comment section that like this like newspaper is apparently like a real thing you can find on Wikipedia or something like that. I don't know if it's also spelled wrong on wherever that newspaper was from, but this is tiny joke about like typo. I just think it's kind of funny. I don't know why I use Wendy here, but I think it's just really funny. And I also give him an L because of his dumb joke. Okay, the reptile scene. Oh boy. I think I have a lot I want to say here.
Reptile with a sledgehammer and it's
This was honestly something that I kind of like caught later on watching this movie, like rewatching it. I was like, wait, Kano was the one who hit Reptile, so why did Reptile hit Cole Young? I just found that to be very funny. And then throughout this review, I just had, and also Reptile, like, what do you call that? Back palm bitch slaps Cole Young. I just think that's so funny. It's like, why is one of Reptile's main attacks slapping people? Like, whatever, it's awesome. And I used it in my video a lot. He also bitch slapped Sonya too in that scene just then. This was a little funny commission I wanted for Kano to do the Wheeze meme. I felt like it could be very useful in later reviews too, so I feel like, yeah, have him do a Wheeze. I think I only used this image 2 or 3 times in the whole review, so a little, not a lot, but I still think it gets the point across. It's a fun image. In this scene, I'll explain why I feel like Reptile could have totally just killed them all off easily. One thing I did not put in the script, either because I didn't feel like it or I forgot, but I was going to mention that I had a little bit of the same feeling I felt from Scorpion's Revenge, because in that fight, the Lizard Man fight in Scorpion's Revenge, he totally could have killed like Sonya like 6 times in that fight. But I would say in the 2021 movie, while Reptile definitely had a lot of moments, I think they did a little better in terms of like who could have been killed and stuff like that, because like every time when someone was about to die, they get saved by somebody else. So they do show that aspect in the movie. However, there was one specific scene that really made me go like, huh? And I mentioned it in this review, which was when I say like, oh, after Reptile takes out Cole Young and Sonya, he just disappears for 10 seconds. He literally just boop, disappears. He doesn't go after Cole Young or Sonya. He doesn't like fight Kano. He allows Kano to like set free, and then later on he fights Kano. And I felt like that was like a little weird. But what's even more weird is after Cole Young and Sonya get knocked out, the next scene we see them, if you look at where they get knocked out, they move to the side. They just like, I don't know, crawled or rolled to the side, and they're like, oh, I'm still hurt and stuff like that. So that way Kano can have a little 1v1 Reptile. And I just think that's kind of like funny. If you think about it, like there is a scene where they just start crawling to the side just so that they can fight. Again, something I didn't put in my review, but I thought I'd mention. I felt like this T-posing Reptile character looked kind of like Reptile, so I feel like I could just use it. Why not? I appreciate you guys liking this JoJo joke. It's really random. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know how I had this in my script or not. I just take my glass in my hand and joking. Okay, the commission here. Let me pull up a picture. So, oh wait, this is censored. Can I not have a sensor, dude? Hello? There we go. So this Reptile design. I have to say though, whenever it comes to the sexy lizard man poses in my videos, I'm much more strict with the person I commission BK have. I usually tell her like, you know what, you can do whatever you want with all my other images. You know, the emoji Guillemons, the lady yelling at cat meme, the wheezing Kano, whatever. You want to, however you want to do those pictures, it's up to you. But the sexy lizard man, I'm gonna be 10 times more strict on that one. This pose he's doing, by the way, all me. I came up with that. I looked up a lot of posing references just to be like, okay, I want him to do that specific pose right there. So here's the original sketch of the pose that I sent to BK Hat. So the fact that she turned this into that, I think is amazing. And I also specified to her being like, you know, people out there, they like feet. Make sure you get those feet right. And I have to say, those feet, like, I'm not even a feet guy, but I have to say, like, they're chef's kiss, very well done in my opinion. Not a lot of people noticed it, but I wanted him to hold knives because, you know, Sonya kept tossing knives at him. But the knife he's holding on his crotch, that's Kano's knife. When I broke my wrist, that's Kano's knife. I just felt like a little detail there and stuff like that. I would like to mention something, by the way. I did not ask her to give Reptile big, humongous pecs and abs. That was not me. That was her. So when she sent me like the original sketch, which I'll show also here. So when I saw those pecs and abs, I was like, I did not ask for them. Nor am I asking for you to remove it. So I just kept that. Yeah. And I got one more thing I could mention about Reptile, which is the beta design that I had of him. So this was actually based off of a concept art that she looked up, and so she thought that like I wanted to look more like that concept art that I looked up, because you can see that Reptile does have like a more white belly, but I was like, he does not have that in the movie, so please keep it back to just pure green. With that being said though, I do have this version of Reptile also that exists. So there you have it, the 2 sexy Reptile versions that I have online. And for those of you who are asking if there is a 3rd version, I will heavily deny that, or at least I have no idea about that. So please stop saying that there is a third version about this character. Thank you very much. Now, before I continue, I want to mention the other artwork that I had, which was the wheelchair reptile art. So this baby, honestly, I actually just commissioned this because I wanted to commission Elson Wong for something, because I've known him for a while. So I'm like, I want to commission you for something. So there wasn't really a point of having this in my review, but I just wanted him to do an art for me. I had a lot of ideas. I had like, I was going to maybe sit on a throne and have like 4 different reptiles like posing around me. I had one where it was just one reptile, but I'm not gonna lie, I was also in a hurry too, because he was like, okay, so what am I drawing? I'm like, oh shit, I gotta come up with something. So then I came up with the wheelchair idea. Here's my original sketch, and then here's a more detailed version of the original sketch. So yeah, I'm impressed that he turned this into that. I do want to mention that when I received this finished artwork, I was like, yeah, it looks nice. And then I was looking at it for a while and I was like, is this a little too lewd? Well, no, going back. I honestly just wanted to, commission it for something, and so that's why I had this photo here. So this next scene here is the Odd Ones Out parody. This honestly took me way longer than need be, because not only did I had to cut the Odd Ones Out in between all these reptiles and stuff like that, I also needed to redraw his background. So this is what it looked like in like his video. He had like Draco instead of like Reptile, of course. So I had to redraw a lot of stuff. So this is what it looks like without, images being cut. So you see like my commissioned artwork as the framed photo above. You see my sketch of the reptile below and on the wall. I have some other commissioned reptile arts on like framed over there. And then we've got the body pillow reptile. That actually, not gonna lie, took me way longer to shade and edit than I had expected. And yeah, all this for like a 2-3 second joke in the whole video. It took me like an hour to edit this whole thing. I hope you guys appreciated it. The yelling at cat lady meme, I wanted this because one, I think it's funny, but also at the same time, some of my fans were like, you totally could do this in your video. And I was like, who should I do it with? And everyone just said Kano and Reptile. So I was like, okay, Taylor, I'll commission that. Some people were like saying like maybe Kano should have been the cat and Ko Young should have been the one shouting and pointing. The meme is supposed to be like the lady is supposed to be like the one who's made fun of, and the cat is like the one who's like supposed to be making fun of the lady in a way. It's like, oh, I'm just a cat, yo. So if I put Kano doing the pointing, it makes it seem like Kano is the unsuperior one. However, this is a little deep for memes, I know. However, I feel like having Kano point at something can be very useful in my video, and like in my future project and stuff like that, just have, angry Kano pointing at something. I feel like that could be very useful. So that's why I specifically wanted to be commissioned for Kano. I wanted Kano to have more highlights than Ko Young, just so you guys know.
We don't know the pain and suffering independent artists have to go through.
I think I got some people who saw this scene and were like, as an artist, I completely relate and I really appreciate you bringing out our pain and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, it's just a joke, but thanks. I'm glad you guys get some appreciation. Here's something unexpected. So I wanted to just show, this scene of Todd Garner explaining that, Rain was supposed to show up here, but, due to budget constraints or time constraints, so we couldn't have Rain in the movie. I felt like that's an interesting information. I was like, okay, I just wanted to share that. What I didn't expect was that this is one of the biggest controversies that came out of my video, which is a lot of people just saying like, oh my gosh, so we had Rain? Yo, they cucked us, Rain, dude. Justice for Rain and stuff like that. And I was like, I did not expect people to be this mad about not having Rain in the movie. So I thought that was unexpected. The sun scene. I would say this was something that I did not catch the first time watching. The first time I watched it, me and my friends just laughed at it. We were like, a little dramatic for an intro now, wouldn't you say? But it was like after the second and third time, I was like, hold up a second. You cannot have a sunset scene right here and immediately in the next scene have that sunset disappear. I forgot to put that in my video though. I should have did like a very simple side by side, but yeah, I kind of forgot about that sadly. But anyways, I just thought it was funny. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why I decided to use J.K. Simmons roasting, but I think maybe it's because like Raiden is just talking down on these characters. And also I've been watching some things with J.K. Simmons recently. So I recently watched Whiplash and I finished Invincible, and I was like, he's got some burns in there. 2 and 2 connected, and I just made this joke. I don't know why this meme started of like how like, oh, Raiden is really tiny in this movie, especially when he compares to like, especially when you compare his length with Louis Tan. But one thing I was gonna do in the movie, but I could not shove it in, was the Keanu Reeves with the little Keanu Reeves meme. I was gonna do it with Raiden, but I couldn't like fit it into the video. This is some really high level confusion. I still don't understand what they were implying. Why is Liu Kang covering his face. What was supposed to happen here? I'm 90% certain that whatever they intended when filming was not what they could do like afterward. I'm sure some ice ability was like hitting his face or something like that, or at least originally that was their plan. Okay, I have to mention something here. A lot of people like this joke. A lot of the people like my Come Lao joke, but I wasn't even the one who originated the joke. I kind of stole it because back when the movie came out, so many people did the Come Lao joke. However, I wanted to like extend it and have him say it like more, and then have Liu Kang saying like come and stuff like that.
Your training has begun. Come.
That was me. That was like a joke that I wanted to do. But this Come Lao joke was not from me. So I find it very funny that so many people liked it. Okay, some people in my comment section were saying like, you know, they could still be like actual cousins, you know, especially maybe like long relative cousins, like they both come from the Great Kung Lao or something like that, which is fine. You can speculate that. But what the main reason I wanted to mention this is because the word Shishong just does not mean cousin. And I wanted to specify that. A lot of people are confused that they're actual cousins, but like that's not the case, especially in the movie, because that's not even the word that they use. So I wanted to give you guys a bit of a Mandarin Chinese lesson here. Some people don't know this, but this joke actually was supposed to be extended. The dun 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 dun, like looking at each other. I had like 8 characters looking around because this whole scene had a bunch of characters looking around funnily. Sadly though, I got copyright strike for this joke, so I had to cut it, or at least I had to cut it in half. Funny enough, I didn't even know that this came from like a Nicki Minaj song until I got copyrighted, so thanks for letting me know your presence, Mrs. Nicki.
Complicated subject.
Okay, I can segue and go to my Arcana video that I released last week. The topic of Arcana, to me, the funny and interesting part about it is like how it connects with like a character's arc, because it really just doesn't. In my opinion, it's just like they really failed that in my opinion. And you know, if you want to know more about it, you can watch the Arcana video, which I just rant about it for 30 minutes. Oh, but I want to mention something though. The fan art I received recently is so amazing and I love it so much. It's like obviously a Funkin' Friday Night reference. It's so good. So I put that in my Arcana video. So I just want to mention that. The framed photo, yeah. So that one is like I just framed like Mr. Elson Wong. Beautiful commission onto the background for no reason really, just because I wanted to. I had 2 photos I was planning on framing because I at least the original photo I planning on frame was this poster of all the sexy reptiles. However, I printed it out and I framed it and it looked a little too small on the camera. So I instead decided to just use the one that I commissioned from Elson Wong. I also got some people asking why I decided to not show my face in that video, and one of the reasons is because I had other people who are like saying, please don't give up on the hoodie character persona you have, you know, we like that. So I feel like, you know, just because I show my face doesn't mean I can't keep that MK costume version of myself in that video. I love this Karen joke. I just think it's very funny, you know, Sonya with the Karen hat, Walmart, Kung Lao, Kano holding the phone to film this, because Karens would be filmed on people's like cell phones and stuff like that, so it's just a little funny joke in my opinion. I will admit, the first time watching this film, I completely forgot that Ko Young actually did win against Kung Lao once. I remember like watching it the second time or the third time, I was like, wait, what? He won that? What? I actually was shocked. I was like, oh, I completely didn't even notice that. So I wanted to get that same feeling in this video because I don't think people even remember the fact that Ko Young did win against Kung Lao one time in a practice match. I'm so happy to find a scene where Kano looks like he was, I was about to call him Kano, where Kano looks like he was slapping Ko Young just to add to the pile of characters getting slapped because, you know, awesome. I have to say though, reverse Ko, one of my favorite Ko puns. Oh yeah, so this edit, I just wanted to be like, have, you know, because you see Ko Young like swiping his phone, I want to just be like swipe over and it's a freaking sexy reptile, and I just think that was a funny idea.
Barcol no.
Weird thing to mention, Bakono is a very awesome anime that True Underdog recommended me. There's a Ko in the Bakono, so I use that as a joke. Bakono is pretty awesome. I will say this though, and I'm impressed. I'm gonna toot my own horn a little here, but I caught this head turning scene the first time I watched the movie, and I was like, I just kind of like noticed, like I was like, wait, he turned his head twice here, like bruh.
What is that?
Excuse me, Sonia. You are not supposed to be in the fight pit.
I don't know why I like that joke a lot. Where I just brought back the Karen Sonia here. You're not supposed to be in the fight pit, Sonia, yo. The diagram. So this was actually something that I had planned for a while because I felt like to emphasize of how much of a messy scene this is, you gotta show how small the fight pit is and how there barely is enough space for 10, 11 characters to all like be in the same space at the same time, because that's impossible. So that's why you just see characters just freaking disappear, and I think that's really funny. But I think the funniest part is the Natara and Kung Lao scene, which I'll get to later. I'm not gonna lie, this section of saying did they really have to turn Reiko into like one of the smartest characters into just a stupid strongman, a little bit inspired because around that time was when Brusque Poet like made his video about how Reiko is a wasted character or something like that. So thanks, Mr. Brusque Poet, for the inspiration. I like the rest bench joke. It easily implies exactly what I'm going with. Like they're on the rest bench, which basically means they disappeared. Like they're just gone for the next 3-4 minutes, and there's no explanation as to why. I would say a lot of the analysis for the Sonya versus Mileena fight, I have to say, originally I was only going to mention the fact that Mileena hits like the Sonya's knife away, that stuff. But after watching Big Stinky Moose's video, I felt like I had to mention the rubber knives because that also might apply as to why I feel like this is one of the more weaker fight scenes in the movie. But yeah, this scene is hard to criticize in my opinion because on one hand, it's just a fast sword fight with two ladies and that's it. The more I look at it, the more I analyze it, the more I just find it to be a little messy. Big Sticky Moose actually made a second video criticizing this, and it was like he criticized something that even I didn't notice, but after noticing it's like, oh yeah, that is a really weird thing. I recommend you guys check that out if you want to know what it is. But overall, I did come back and forth with this scene a lot of times. Oh yeah, this edit. I wanted to do Lady Demetres Mileena joke for a very long time, and I had that joke saved up for a very long time, and I appreciate a lot of people liking them. Also, see, I wonder, and I also just bring back the Walmart Kalau just because I think it's so funny. Sonic gets locked into it, and then Kalau, the training area is for chosen ones only. And we have the spinny doodad Mileena here, which also has like Crash Bandicoot sound effects.
Mileena versus Karen.
Okay, this freaking scene. To some people, this is their favorite moment in my whole video, and I really appreciate that. If you want to ask how I came up with this scene, why I did this, I'm not gonna lie, even I'm not too sure. All I remember was I had this plan. I wanted to do this very early on. I was like, I have to have like this YTPMV style with the Messenger song. I think the biggest inspiration as to why I want to do this is because I find the scene where Shang Tsung like dodges with his neck to be very unnatural. I was gonna make a section of that in my video, be like, oh, I want to mention how his face dodge looked kind of off or something like that. But why do that? Instead, why don't I just replay that 20-30 times while there's like a music to it, so that there's like a beat with like how he's doing it with his like neck and stuff like that. I guess that's how I came up with the idea of doing this. Really random, but I had a lot of fun doing this, basically just following the beats and stuff like that. The reptile dancing here was also drawn by BK Had. This was drawn like a long time ago, but like I felt like I could also use this in my video because it's a little cute, little funny dance from that one game. I forgot what it's called. And I also wanted to bring back the slaps because why not? I don't know if it's a mistake, but I did like cover the diagram with my character and like swirled it a bit. So if you want to see how the diagram actually looks without, you know, something in front of it, this is what it looked like. This is really, in my opinion, the biggest like mistake part in this movie, because it's like if you really think about it, it doesn't make sense position wise, and it's the fact that they just keep going forward and forward and forward, and I felt like that was really funny. I had to express that in my video. And this is the history behind the warrior cameo. So fun fact, this is gonna sound evil a bit, but one of the biggest reasons as to why I wanted to have a collab with him in my tier list video, because I made that like a month before I made this video, was because I wanted to ask him in that tier list video, be like, yo, you want to make a little cameo in my MK 2021 Sucks video? Yeah, want to? So like that's like one of the primary reasons as to why I even collabed with him, was just to have the opportunity to be like, yo, make a cameo in my video. I also just felt like, you know, because we barely have any lore about Nitara in this movie, so I felt like having history behind the warrior narrate a 20-second section of just talking about Nitara's lore would be funny. And I think some of my audience like this moment too, so that's pretty awesome. Okay, this honestly is one of the funniest interviews that I could find, where Louis Tan just kind of says like, we have powerful women in our film and stuff like that. And I wanted to use this also for like Mileena, because she's also kind of a pathetic character, because he says all the women in this movie. So I just felt like I had to apply this to Nitara. I just had to. She doesn't even have a line in this movie. It's just so funny. I don't even know how I found this interview. It was like a 300 views interview that you could find on YouTube. It's an awesome interview that it really worked in my favor in a way. While I was editing the movie, the behind the scenes stuff for Mortal Kombat came out, and they showed the concept art and stuff for Nitara, and I was like, oh, I wanted to mention that in my video just because I felt like I wanted to know a little bit more as to why Nitara was treated horribly in this movie. So that's why I had this little edit here. Interestingly enough, after I released my video, some people did mention in the comments saying that the original actress who played Nitara actually was like hurt, and so they had to like find a replacement, which I think also explains why she's so pathetic in this movie, because they must have had more ideas for her, but they had to cut it out. And so I think that's good information to know, and I'm glad my fans told me about that. I still think the scene was so funny, but I think the fact that my friend laughed so hard uncontrollably was even better. Oh yeah, the poker scene. I'm so happy to bring this back again. I love doing the poker scenes in my Sucks videos. This one might be my favorite because of how much thought was put into it, how much I had to think of jokes into like why the occasion and stuff like that. I put a lot of Easter eggs on this scene here. We got like the Mileena body, we got like Oshi, we got Knife Kirby, we got Metroid Dread on the Switch because I'm looking very forward to that game. We also have some framed pictures. We got my Elsa Wonka mission, Raiden graduating because he's a DLC character in Mortal Kombat 11, and we also have kicking in a wheelchair drawn by my fan. So yeah, lots of fun Easter eggs here, and I would love to bring back more poker skits in the future if I can think of them, of course. Because the last time I did was like October of 2020, which was the first Chronica Sucks video. Also, a lot of my fans felt like ooh when they saw the burn that I gave to Reptile.
Yikes, Raiden.
Wow.
Damn,
Raiden. Have you ever seen a lizard man cry? Hollywood is welcome to do
now.
My job here is done. That one was something a bit more like personal as a Reptile fan, I felt like. So I really appreciate a lot of fans like really related to that part of my skin. And also worth mentioning, the Brendan Fraser joke actually came from one of the people from my Discord. So thanks to that person who I forgot your name. Okay, I want to mention something. This video you're seeing right here was completely random as to how I stumbled upon it. Let me show you the first 10 seconds of this random video that I stumbled upon. The video is called Behind the Scenes with Mortal Kombat Star Lewis Tan, Playboy. And I just felt like I had to put this in the video somewhere. And I'm so glad that I found a place to put it here. Chunky man move part. There was another thing that I wanted to put in my video, which was I was going to make a joke and say there are two types of people. The first one is they think Ko Young sucks. And the second is that they think Lewis Tan is hot. Now that, and that's, I didn't put that in my video, but I feel like I wanted to use that joke. After this Playboy video, I could definitely see why people say that about Lewis Tan. The crowbar sound, by the way, was something I did not have in my script. I just noticed it in the movie and I'm like, did they really add that sound effect? Really? That sound effect for the freaking crowbar? Like, come on, man. I had to make that noticeable. This plot armor section, it was a joke that I came up a couple months ago. I was just thinking like, I hear the phrase literally plot armor so many times. I was thinking, technically speaking, I'm the first one who said that in a review because I was one of the like earliest people who made a review of this movie. So I just felt like I could use this joke. Funny enough though, it turns out the people who said literally plot armor were the YouTubers that I knew a bit more. So like it was Bust Poet, The Force Snake and stuff like that. Not a lot of people actually did say literally plot armor like in the reviews. I did hear a lot of Aquaman suits and Black Panther ability, but literally plot armor was a little harder to look up. So I did look up like I don't know, like 10-20 reviews just to find people saying literally plot armor so I can make this joke in my video. I did find a lot of people saying it on Twitter though. I feel bad for History Behind the Warrior because he never said it in his review, but he said it in our collab, so I got to use it. The scene where Kano says fucking failure. I regret not using that more. I think that's kind of funny when the way he says that. Yeah, you failure kind of a thing. But I did get to use that a lot in the movie. I think I used fucking whoops like 5 or 6 times in this whole video. It's such a useful clip. I will forever be using that whenever I critique anything Mortal Kombat related. It's just so useful. This was something I actually didn't notice until like fans told me about it. And I was like, wait, yeah, wasn't it 4,000 years? It's hilarious. Just do a reshoot. 4,000 years. That'll forever be in your movie now. So this scene where I talk about Kung Lao's death was most of the things that I wanted to say was said in that video, which I titled The Worst Scene in Mortal Kombat, and it was like a scene where I explained why this 1 minute scene where Kung Lao's getting his soul sucked is like the worst scene in the movie, because like there's just so many issues and problems that happen within 1 minute. And I'm just so impressed how they could cram in that many mistakes. So I decided to make like a separate video talking about this like around May. And if I didn't make that video, I would have mentioned all my points in this Sucks video, but because I already did, so I just redirect you guys to be like, just go watch that video. It's very enjoyable, it's very fun, and I highly recommend it. Okay, I really had no idea why I decided to do this other than just why not. I just think it's funny. Soul Sucked is one of the best memes that came out from this movie, so like I just thought, yeah, let me commit to it.
So suck. There we go, chat. There we go.
They're like brothers. There's no sexual tension between us.
Oh, and then the interview. So this part of the interview that when he says is like, oh yeah, Kung Lao and Liu Kang, they're very close to each other. There's no sexual tension. I'm like, that is such a weird thing to say. Now I have to put it in my review just to have some fun with it. I have to admit, it was less like a romantic kind of a thing, and more like, dude, what are you saying? Desert Sprite, like what is this whole like thing you're going on about? It's just funny in my opinion. That's all. Like, no offense to these actors, but I do find like this scene to just be funny. So here I mentioned the thing about where like Greg blocks me and how Greg says like Raiden couldn't have saved Kung Lao because he left, and I felt like, okay, this is a funny thing that I want to mention. What I was not expecting, I expected some people to mention it, but a lot of people got offended that I got blocked by Greg Russo, and I wasn't really expecting that. And okay, let me tell you guys my experience with that. It was around May or June when I found out that I got blocked by Greg Russo. A fan of mine was like, hey, they actually explained something about the Arcana, and I'm like, oh, cool. Can I see it? He's like, yeah, sure. And he sent me like the link to like Greg Russo's tweet, and then I clicked on it and I couldn't see it. And I was like, what's going on here? I'm like, what? Is it like my problem? Did he delete the tweet? And then eventually I found out he blocked me, and I was like, no way. But why? Why did he block me? And I had no idea why. I never interacted with Greg Russo. I mean, okay, if he blocks me now, I completely understand why. But back then, I genuinely did not have any interactions with him. The best guess I could come up with is because of the video that I upload about where I talk about Kung Lao's death, and the thumbnail makes it very obvious that if Greg Russo saw that, he probably want to block me. Maybe that's my theory, because that's all I could come up with, honestly. I'm not gonna lie, it's thanks to that Greg Russo blocked me that I started to look up his interviews, and I started to look up his tweets and stuff like that, and I find so many juicy information that I got to use in my video. Yeah, a blessing in disguise in a way. This was also a fun highlight in my opinion. And of course, we've got the Breast Poet cameo. I think about like a month ago, I was watching Loki with like his Discord group, and I just kind of popped up and be like, yo, want to make a cameo in my video? And he's like, okay. And I chatted with them about the fact that Greg Russo blocked me before, and he told me like, oh, I got blocked by him and Todd Garner. And I'm like, what? So I felt like I could use that little section in my video, and I thought it was pretty funny too. The wee little Mortal Kombat YouTubers are getting blocked by these people because, are we too mean? Are the things we express a little too mean for you guys? At least for me, I'm really not trying to stir any tea with these like creators and stuff like that. I mean, if that's how you guys feel, then you know, so be it. I want to make it very clear about Greg Russo here. A lot of things in this video I am making fun of him, but I do appreciate a lot of like insights that he does give about the movie. Part of me actually does kind of think that Greg Russo may have made this movie a little bit better because like if he wasn't even on, like this movie may have been even worse without Greg Russo. Maybe, from watching like 6 hours of interviews with him. Even this point where he says like the void has a negative effect on a human body, I think would have made the void a lot better, instead of just like, why didn't you take them there in the first place kind of a thing. The War Snakes cameo. This was something that I did not plan. I only asked him to do the finger cam cameo, but he was like, you want me to do like a funny little cameo about the Raiden apologizing to Liu Kang? I'm like, sure. So this was actually his idea, and I did not know he was going to bring up those nunchucks again. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. Weird thing to mention, by the way, I love the way how I use these Liu Kang expressions. It just feels so perfect how he just slowly looks back at Raiden like, what the heck are you saying kind of an expression. It just fits so well in my opinion. I love it. I forgot to mention both of these like expressions that I commissioned. Let me kind of like talk about the rest of the commissioned emojis that I had. So we have the thumbs up SonicHaXD emoji, just because why not? I feel like I could use that a lot. We have the little embarrassed, hey, I made a mistake kind of a expression, inspired by the Phoenix Wright pose. This pose of my character looking like, oh no, oh geez, oh Rick, kind of a expression. I just wanted to have like a bit of a panicking, like, or like, oh, what am I looking at kind of an expression. And this one is inspired by literally one of Nagito's sprite. And do I have anything else? I don't think so. So I just wanted some more expressions with my character, so that's why I commissioned more of these for my video and for future stuff. So this was actually not on my script, and I had to like edit it in, because while I was editing and writing the script, they have not released the behind the scenes stuff, like a 20-minute small documentary of the stuff in their movie. There was a lot of good things in that little documentary if you're interested in the movie. And that's also the documentary that I found like Nintara's stuff and other things. But one of the things that shocked me the most was when they said Cabal's lair. And I was like, what? This is Cabal's lair? What? Because I made a joke saying, is this Shao Kahn's lair? Because there's a Shao Kahn statue and stuff like that. But being Cabal's lair, that is just so out there and weird to me. So that was like, that took me off guard, and I had to put that in my video. Which later on I had when Cabal says, what the fuck, when he's in the tar pit, I made the joke, what do you mean, what the fuck? It's like, this is literally your own lair. Like, that was not in the script too. That was after the behind the scenes came out. I added that joke in too. And I think a lot of my fans, when they saw, they were also like shocked too. It was like, wait, how is this Cabal? What? And I think I got a lot of comments saying like, Cabal's lair for MK12 or stuff like that. So it was pretty funny.
Did you crank this?
Yeah, people are confused, right? Because nobody knows what that is. I looked at the interview and I found
This is your own lair.
there.
How do you
Cabal's there for MK12.
serious in a
Shao
way
Kahn is Cabal's
and you're
husband.
satisfied?
This was so funny to me, in my opinion, because the whole time Koyoung was fighting Mileena, at least after she starts to show like her real mouth, Liu Kang literally just says like whatever and just meditates the whole time. The whole time. He never helps them. And I think that's hilarious in my opinion. A lot of things that I mentioned here about Mileena was also mentioned in the Mortal Kombat 2021 review that I made back in April too. So I'm just kind of like bringing what I said back in this video. This body turn part was also not on the script. I just noticed it while I was editing and I'm like, why do you keep turning, dude? It's hilarious. This Coldstone joke, I had it prepared for a very long time. I think my dad was the one who gave me the Coldstone joke, and I was like, bro, I have to use this when he starts to freeze Koyoung. It's too good. For some reason, I love sad Sub-Zero. It's just so funny, and I bring in the sad smoke too from MK9.
Oh, it's not a very cold character.
I'm bringing the Walmart employee joke back a fourth time, baby. I don't know why it's so funny to me. This was kind of funny too, because when I saw this in the interview, I'm like, that's a little too much information that Simon gave that mostly is going to be made to use fun of him, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
Yeah, that guy was typing Benny a little too horny.
Then she choreographed.
Okay, the finger cam session. I have a lot I could say here. So let me start with the nail polish. This was something that I had in the back of my head, and I was very, very hesitant on whether or not I wanted to do it or not. So let me mention the first thing, by the way. When I premiered this video, this was the moment that like broke everybody. I saw in the chat, everyone was just going crazy. It looked like 50-50. You got people being like, what is that? Dude, what the heck? And then you got another set of people being like, slay y'all, stuff like that.
Absolutely fabulous. His useless teachings and his overpowered.
Oh my god. Is that actually, wait, what? No, Birch. I like how I think I panicked like two sides. People are like, whoa, that's amazing. People
more
are just
than
like,
you
no,
did. They taught about the Arcana.
My guy, that bling. His fingernails are better characters than Cole.
But in the comment section, my videos, a lot of people did like nail polish, and I really appreciate that because it did take me a very long time to do. The idea of the nail polish was more or less because I had PTSD with a lot of people saying that my nails were too long in the Scorpion's Revenge hand cam part, and I'm just like, they're not that long. I cut them before doing it. But I remember I got like comments when I uploaded my Mortal Kombat 2021 review. I remember I got comments being like, hey, just a friendly reminder to tell you to cut your nails and stuff like that. I'm like, shut up, whoever these people are. You know what? Screw you guys. So then I decided I want to do the nail polish joke. This literally did take me an hour to put on. I had to go like find like the black nail polish and also some golden stickers that our family picked out, and my mom and my brother helped me out with doing all this sort of stuff. So that was a very interesting experience. And also getting the nail polish off, it was very hard too. It took me like an hour doing that. So this whole process did take a while, but I really appreciate the fact that a lot of my fans did like this part. And this was definitely one way to put it, highlights of the video. A lot of people were like, oh my gosh, the nail polish. Let me just film the setup for you guys. First off, this is where I'm putting my camera. Oh shoot, I dropped it. This was how I was looking at the script while doing the finger cam. So, you know, thick thighs save lives, but I'm not going to show you my thighs. And then here's my set, my beautiful set. Fingernails. Wow! So the other thing I would like to mention is I have the DVD case in the back, which I pre-ordered from Amazon. And I would like to emphasize that I kind of regret doing that, not gonna lie. Okay, so the main reason I wanted to order the DVD was because I wanted the behind the scenes stuff. I wanted like the extra scenes to help me out with my video. Here's an interesting fact, by the way. I wanted to get this video out before the movie came out, like on DVDs and stuff like that. So I wanted to get it out before July 13th, I think. But when the due date was getting closer, I was like, there's no way I can get this done before the middle of July. So I had to like tell my fans, be like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to do it. I'm gonna make a tier list video for you guys. And part of me was a bit worried because if I'm not gonna be able to get it out before July 13th, then my script has to be changed again because of more information that's gonna be revealed from the behind the scenes and stuff like that. Which luckily it wasn't too much, so I still did implement them in my video, such as like the Cabal's lair and stuff like that. But let me say this, on the site that they were selling this, they said that the DVD would have deleted scenes, but on the Blu-ray on the back of it, it says they will have deleted scenes and all these other extra footage and stuff like that. So I thought, okay, they can't like not put the extra scenes on the DVD, right? And surely enough, I was wrong. The DVD literally only had the movie and the deleted scenes, nothing else. And I was like, well, fuck, why did I even buy this movie? And also, let me slightly mention about the deleted scenes, by the way. They're so plain, in my opinion. Like, I'm sure they had much better deleted scenes that they could show, but whatever they shown was just so boring. I never mentioned the deleted scenes in my review. There was no point. There was literally no point in me mentioning it. It was just so whatevery. And I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't show like the Adinian and Katana stuff or some other backstories and stuff like that. I remember Greg Russo even on his tweets was looking very forward to seeing the deleted scenes. Stuff like Ko Young's mom and stuff like that. But no, none of that was in there. They really held back on the deleted scenes in my opinion. Luckily, Warner Brothers did upload an HD video of the behind the scenes on their YouTube channel. So I really appreciate that. So I get to get this one beautiful shot of Reptile that cannot be seen in the movie at all. And I'm so happy to have that. But yeah, overall, I'm not gonna lie. The Mortal Kombat 2021 on DVD sucks ass. And because I didn't even have the Blu-ray, I couldn't even see some of the other extra scenes. Look, I paid $30 for the DVD and the movie tickets, so I think that's enough for me to start shitting on this movie all I want. And the other thing that I also have here is because I wanted to get like free shipping, so I also bought some other things. So I bought like these really cute like Shiro and Michiru like little dolls, but I also bought these two Fortnite boys. And originally, because you can move their like arms and legs around, so I wanted them to do like the Joruno pose. However, that was impossible for them because like they just legs can't move that much. So instead, I tried out a bunch of more things, and then I came across the walking meme. So as you can see in my video, that's what they were doing in the video. Oh, right, forgot to mention, all the puns from here on out are just Pokemon names. Part of it because, you know, I like Pokemon, but the other part of it is also because I've started to run out of ideas, so I'm just like, screw it, I'm just gonna all Pokemon names from here on out. So fun fact, I was originally going to mention one controversy, which is the McCad, the actor of Jax, where he kind of talks about the 1995 Raiden is kind of problematic because he's white. I was gonna go on a bit of a rant about that, but I thought I couldn't really bother. I might mention it if I make a 1995 movie review later on, but that was a deleted scene, by the way. And also, the Force Snake cameo replaced that scene too, which I'll talk about right now. Honestly, this cameo is like the best in my opinion because of just how much effort Mr. Snake put into doing his poses, his lines, and stuff like that. And also, I still find it very, very funny that I told him to do a 20-30 second skit, and he sent me a 10-minute video file of just all of his outtakes. And you know what? Since he was so generous to giving the outtakes, I might as well use them all. So here's a bit of an edit that I'll show you guys here.
You know, it's funny actually because it's supposed to be, you know, B-Tech Raiden, but honestly, it doesn't look that bad. If I'm entirely honest, that's a weird thing. I mean, I guess that's part of the joke. It's supposed to be shit, but it's not that bad. Yeah, MK2 Raiden, which is a bit close to the movie Raiden, so it makes a bit of sense. So you know, Sonic, no one else has seen this, so. Alright, so, get what I need to do. Yeah, that's supposed to be an insult, and you're like shitting yourself because you've seen what this Raiden is like now. Not got the amulet on me, but I can still take you down. So, let's begin. You what, mate? Is that an insult? I'm here in my new B-Tech... No, it's not B-Tech, is it? It's GMVQ, I said that. Is that supposed to be an insult? I should have scripted this, to be honest. I scripted the last one, but I didn't script this one. I probably should have done. Need to make sure The lighting level is roughly even. Now to think about it, I am very bad at this. I'm very unprofessional in every aspect of my life. No, that's way too much light. Or is it? Yep, way too much. Now it's not enough. Fuck. Like I said, very professional. I look an absolute twat, but hopefully that'll be good enough. I need to figure out what to say for the other one, and I will get back to you when I figure that out. Peace. Sync. Yeah, so no gauntlets, no cowl, because the movie version doesn't have those, and I know the colours aren't right. He wears a blue top with like brown on top. Don't care. One thing I do care about though is keeping this here, because this is the symbol of the Arcana, and that's an important thing that I for some reason care more about the film than the people who made it. So let's try and get this done. Okay. Let's see how it goes. Can you? There's a tiny little bit of green that's not been at that corner there. It's not quite green. You might want to crop things a little. Okay. I broadcall young, because I am struggling a bit to decide whether it should sound like my Scorpion's Revenge Raiden, or should I try and make him sound like the movie version, which would probably come off as horribly racist. So probably not that one. Okay, let's try. I broadcall young back here to. I'm not good at memorising lines. Very bad, in fact. I broadcall young back here to taunt Shang Tsung. I broadcall young back here. My accent's slipping. I broadcall young back here. No, it's not back here. They're not there anymore. They changed location. I broadcall young back to the temple. Should I say temple or cave? Cave, because it's a fucking cave. I brought Shang Tsung. I broadcall young back to the. I broadcall young back to the temp. I broadcall young back to the cave to. I broadcall young back to the cave for the sole purpose of his. I broadcall young back to the cave for the sole intent. I brought Shang Tsung back. I didn't bring Shang Tsung. I broadcall young back to the temp. Because I keep getting multiple things that I mix up in my head. Cole, Shang Tsung, temple, cave. Oh, I brought call young back to the cave with this. I brought back to the cave with the Shang Tsung, which I'm getting to kill. So yeah, maybe these nunchucks will. Okay. See, the intent is that maybe you put in like an MK2 or 3 sprite of Liu Kang, or if you got like a green screen, you can put your own hand in there and like slap it out of my hands. Yeah, it's like, so the idea is that it's like, hey, you want to? No, oh, okay. And I have a little pouch, so I can just pop my nunchucks in, which is very good. It's very easy to make this B-Tech Raiden. That's the beauty of MK, actually, with the early costumes, because they were just made from random things you could easily get a hold of. So making a halfway decent Raiden costume really isn't that difficult. Okay, let's try again. I brought Ko Young back to the cave with the sole intent of taunting Shang Tsung, which angered him into killing Kung Lao. So, yeah, my Bilu. Here, maybe these nunchucks. Okay. The funny thing is, because I'm facing a window, you get a bit of the glare on light on my glasses. It looks like my eyes are glowing, even though it doesn't. I brought Ko Young back to the cave with the sole intent of taunting Shang Tsung, which angered him into killing Kung Lao. So, yeah, my beard. Fortunately, you can cut to Liu Kang in between, and like cut out certain parts so you can like mix and match different takes. Do that. So, yeah, my bad, Lou. Here, maybe these nunchucks. Oh, okay. So, see if you can make something out of this horrible waste of 5 minutes of your life. See, I stuck it together with these from the two, like, you know, them. But just realised, look, why has one got 2 magnets and one got 3? See, with this, it looks kind of cool. It's almost like a yin-yang thing, which obviously isn't the intent, but it's just kind of cool. But why has one of them got 2, one got 3? Fucking MK. Can't be consistent with anything. Even magnets. But
yeah, I really love this part of the cameo, and I think a lot of my fans really like when he shocks my hand scene. This was really fun, in my opinion. I had a blast doing this little cameo with Raiden, with the 4 snakes. Sorry, I I mistaken him for the real Raiden there. And also I have to admit something kind of funny. I kind of forgot to make a cameo for the Force Snake. It wasn't until I made like an announcement on my Discord being like, yo, I finished the script. And then the Force Snake kind of like said like, yo, where's my cameo? And I'm like, oh, yeah. You know, totally. I think I wrote like, get your suit ready, stuff like that. And then I came up with the idea of being like, oh yeah, I can have him be Raiden in the Raiden rant scene or something like that. So thanks for nudging me to give you a cameo there, buddy. So overall, I think this finger cam session was actually pretty good. A lot of people agreed and liked my Raiden rant. In my opinion also, it's like people don't like Raiden in this movie, but like I feel like this rant made people be like, oh yeah, Raiden is horrible in this movie. This was very weird, because if you look at that whole entire minute where Raiden was talking with Shang Tsung, Jax really just disappears, because he was there for a moment, but when Shang Tsung shows up, he just disappears. He literally just disappears for like a whole entire minute. It's so weird, and I never noticed it, and you don't notice it until you notice it, really. It's something that when you notice it, it is just weird. So I'm not gonna lie about Johnny Cage. I did not go on a huge tangent about him. I know some people would. You know, like I think, like Angry Video Game Nerd, like he liked the movie, but one of his biggest problems with the movie was just not having Johnny Cage. And I completely understand like the anger that comes from people not like, and also the controversy about Mr. Johnny Cage not being in the movie and stuff like that, which I'll get into later. But overall, to me, I did not mind that much of not having Johnny in the movie, and mainly it's because Kano was the comic relief already. And I think they did a good job with Kano. So I just kind of mentioned like some of the base stuff, such as like, you know, Johnny Cage is on this movie. That's really too bad. And I hope they do him good in the sequel and stuff like that. But I know there are many Johnny fans out there who have much more angry rants that they probably would have wished that I would have gone on with. But I didn't take offense too much. And also, this Nicolas Cage scene was really just out of nowhere. I just you know, people are saying, like, we gotta have Nicolas Cage play as Johnny Cage. And he's like, yeah, I'll put him on the list as potential actors too. And I was like, okay, haha, that's funny. So I wanted to like show you guys that. The Mandy edit of like Nicolas Cage wins fatality part, that actually took me a lot longer than I expected, that little edit there. You're looking up a scene where it looks like, you know, Nicolas Cage performs a fatality, and also sentence mixing the announcer from MK3, I think, to say Nicolas Cage. It took me a bit more editing time than I expected, but I think the end result is pretty awesome. So I didn't get to put Ed Boon in my video like at all, so I really wanted to have like this section for him. Well, if you don't know, people said that Ed Boon really distanced himself from this movie, because like back when Scorpion's Revenge was coming out, or even when Battle of the Realms was coming out, Ed Boon made it publicly known that, oh, I support this movie. I'm like one of the backseat drivers and worked on and helped out in this movie and stuff like that. Yo, you guys gotta check this movie out and stuff like that. But for Mortal Kombat 2021, he barely mentioned anything about the movie, and that could contribute to the fact that he didn't do much about it anyways. But like, people have speculated saying that it's probably because he doesn't like the movie or something like that. But point is, I wanted to put this scene as one of like the to start off my review, is just Ed Boon saying, if the script is given in the right hands, you know, good luck, but if it's not, then I kind of just wish this movie wouldn't exist, kind of a thing. I just think it's just too funny. With that being said, though, I actually had two other alternate ways I could have started this review part. One of them was the scene from Avatar.
That wasn't a good play.
I'll say. No kidding. Horrible. You said it.
But the effects were decent.
Like, I think it fits here very well, but at the same time, this particular scene from Avatar has been memed a lot, and a lot of people like using it in like their movie critics and stuff like that. So I feel like, if it weren't for the fact that this Ed Boon scene was too good, I may have considered using that. And the second one is the scene here from Red Letter Media, which they used when they were critiquing The Amazing Spider-Man, and I think would have fit very well, but I felt like this Ed Boon scene was more superior. Also worth mentioning, by the way, this Ed Boon scene was used in my Come Adventure video too. You know, again, another reused joke I used, but I felt like it fit too well, so I had to use it here. This review of Maximilian, I wanted to use a lot more in my video because I feel like he does a very, very good job of saying why people like Kano. And so, like, that's why I use his, like, this part of his review in my video a lot. This whole end segment of, like, how I'm kind of, like, giving a review is also the part where I use the most interview parts, because I feel like by understanding what the people behind the movie were doing, that also, like, helps imply better as to what we liked and disliked about the movie. And also, you know, I watched up to 6 hours of interviews, so I gotta use some of them, you know? Here's a funny thing that I did with Kano. Originally in this scene, he was supposed to spit like that, and that's why he does a little smile there. But instead of that spit, I changed the sound effect to ding like that. So there's a little cute edit. This is sad. I really didn't get to use the kick in a wheelchair sensor bar as many times as I wanted. By the way, this fan art is still supreme in my opinion. I think it's freaking fantastic. Shout out to the person who made this fan art. It's so awesome. There was a scene that I actually cut out from my review. It was a podcast Adam from YMS said on like his podcast, and I wanted to use that scene to express my feeling about how I feel like the gore was a little bit weak in this movie.
It's something that reminds me it's a movie, and it's something that shows that they're willing to compromise and be cowards for the sake of either a rating or to appease this imaginary person that would just be like, oh, that's taking it a little bit too far. It's like, well, what is your movie? You're supposed to be like blood and gore. You're supposed to, like, I want it to be taken further. I love shit like fucking Gaspar Noé films.
Yeah,
you know?
blood
like,
and you really compared it to Gaspar Noé.
Yeah. I wasn't comparing it in terms of like artistic merit or like creating something that's like avant-garde or whatever you want to call it. I'm talking about like pushing the boundaries of being like, show me something that's actually going to make me be like, oh wow, that's actually pretty intense.
However, I ended up not using it because Adam was specifically talking about one scene, and they were like how they don't dare to kill off children on screen and stuff like that. Despite what he says really applying to how the gore is weak, he's saying something different, and I didn't want to like misinterpret what Adam actually did said, so I instead cut that out. What I did add in, however, is the fact that I did not have this annihilation part in the script. This was added on later on from editing. These concept art, by the way, was actually given to me by BK Ham, because she was like, she wanted to look up more references for Reptile, and so she's like, she happened to came across like these concept arts, and I was like, oh, let me check them out. I'm like, oh, it's so cool, I get to see concept arts. And then that's when I noticed the Cole Young having abilities that can be used with his vines, and I was like, dude, that would have been really cool to see in this movie. But it's too bad I didn't use it. It would have been kind of like Venom in a way. I didn't put this in the video, but I was also going to say this aspect of his ability, like not being shown in the movie, could imply that this is how his ability will grow in the sequel. Maybe. But I thought I'd mention it here. I really just wanted to put Baraka and the Tanya comparison in here. Cole Young is reject Baraka or Tanya. I just really want to bring those two characters when comparing to Cole Young. Maximilian's reveal was so good that I had to use it like 2 parts in my video. I had to look up and think about a lot of movies that have like a generic action movie hero character that doesn't have a personality, and their only personality trait is family. So I actually had this discussion with my family, and we were like, oh, let's see, The Tomorrow War, Army of the Dead, and like Taken, World War Z, and the Skyscraper. They're literally all their driving force is family. So this was actually a joke I had manifested for a very, very long time. Because there's one article that says Cole Young is a studio mandated character, and then there's another article that says that, like, you know, well, why Johnny Cage is in the movie. And then I decided to combine these two to make this joke. I don't know. I like the joke a lot. I felt like it was a very cleverly put together joke. However, some people would like the joke, but I feel like a lot of people just took the joke and decided to be like, oh, they didn't put Johnny Cage in the movie because they're freaking racist to white people or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, that wasn't my point. My point was the fact that this is Hollywood's fault. But anyways, people wanted to blame, oh, they wanted to be woke. That's why they did put Johnny Cage instead. Which, believe it or not, was not my intention with the joke, but oh well. This was a comparison that I made like very early on, back like in May. I had this prepared for like the podcast. It was a really random thought too. I don't know why I just thought about it, but Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse has a lot of similarities with Mortal Kombat 2021. I just felt like I had to put this in my video to tell you guys, this is how you do Mortal Kombat 2021, and this is how you succeed with it. I love that the Josh Lawson says like wasted opportunity, wasted potential. I think I was like, I had to use that in my video, and I think some people like that. But I remember getting a comment of someone saying like, not having Sub-Zero say such wasted potential was like they felt like they got blue balled or something like that. I was like, oh, I was expecting the Sub-Zero not wasted potential quote, but instead we got Josh Lawson saying it, which I thought was funny.
I do want to say that I believe in them to make a better sequel.
I actually do believe in them, weirdly enough. I feel like we could get 2 things that are going to happen here. We can either get a much better Mortal Kombat film for the sequel, or we can get the same kind of Mortal Kombat film, just like this movie, as a sequel. Because as I say in the video, audience members could eat up this type of shit, these type of stupid action movie kind of stuff, no problem. But a second time, I think this is where the audience will start to be like, no, I'm not gonna take the same stupid bullshit again. So I'm hoping that they'll do a better job with the sequel. As I said here, higher budget, Johnny Cage, the actual tournament, stuff like that. Good luck to you guys.
They cannot pull the same shit twice.
So I genuinely was just looking for some cool clips to put while I was talking, because I said the quote, "They can't pull the same shit twice and expect us to eat it up." But I accidentally also just happened to have Scorpion doing the "get over here" as he pulls on his rope as I say they can't pull the same thing. That was accidental, by the way. I completely didn't expect that, and when I did it, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a subconscious genius. So then here we have a scene where Todd Garner kind of says like, we're gonna take the feedback and learn from it and do better. And I really feel like this was a great moment to put at the end of the video to say like, they're gonna try, they're gonna do better and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what, Mr. Todd, I appreciate you saying that. And then I show Greg Russo being like, we're gonna do better too. Then he says the line, I didn't even need to really do any research. To me personally, I think that is the biggest controversial thing for somebody to say, because later on, like, he doesn't just say that because he accidentally says something wrong. No, he proudly says that on like a podcast. He also mostly says like, when you transfer game stuff to movie stuff, you're gonna need to do changes and stuff like that. But regardless, when you say that in an interview, it makes you look so bad, in my opinion. For me personally, I think that was the biggest yikes in all the interviews that I've seen, is just hearing Greg Russo say, I didn't really do any research. And I also loved using the Nerd Crew scenes for that. I just think that was really funny to use. This scene right here, with all the stuff Mortal Kombat 2021 got wrong or like weirdly changed and stuff like that, these are all from my fans. I asked the question on Twitter being like, what do you guys think is stuff that they did in the Mortal Kombat 2020 movie that makes you feel like they had no idea about what's going on in the games and stuff like that? So all these are thanks to my fans. Like, this is where your questions were used, just so you guys know. In the end of my video, I wanted to end it on a positive note. I want to be like, okay, I know I shit talk this whole movie a lot, but I want to give you guys my reaction to the movie. I want to give you guys my initial feelings for it, because as much as I talked down to this movie, I still enjoyed it. I still think it's a bad movie, but I still enjoyed it when I first watched it, and I wanted to give that reaction as a concluding point for my video to you guys. So one little behind the scenes I want to mention while I was filming this, because we just came out of the movie theater and I was like, yo, let's film a little review and stuff like that. So we filmed it, and it was around midnight back then too. So after the review, after we were done filming this little sketch, I started chatting with them more about the movie. We chatted for a very, very, very long time, and it was like almost like 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning. Okay, here's something pretty funny that happened. While we were chatting, I noticed behind us there was a lady who just stood there and didn't move. I mean, like, she just standed there menacingly and just did not move at all. I noticed her and I was like, whatever, and we started continuing chatting. We chatted another 10-20 minutes later. I still noticed her standing there and not moving. It was so creepy, and like the lights were turning off. I was genuinely starting to get freaked out. So I was like, you know what? It's kind of late, guys. Let's go a little like farther away to like where you guys parked your motorcycle and stuff like that. And so when I did that, I told them being like, that freaking lady was standing there while we were chatting very loud. We were chatting very loud. We were like, it's so funny, the movie and stuff like that. We were chatting super loud, and she just stood there with nobody else. And I told them about that freaky lady. And here's the kicker. That freaking lady was standing right next to my motorcycle. So I could not go get my motorcycle until she left. I told him like, yeah, she's standing next to my motorcycle. I'm scared, guys. Thankfully, we chatted some more, and then eventually I looked and she's gone. So that was when I could just, go back. But yeah, a little funny, little horror story there for you guys. And then we have the final poker scene here. To me, weird off-topic thing, but Mortal Kombat 11 ending without putting Ermac in as a DLC is still, in my opinion, one of the biggest offending thing that they did. It's like, what is the point of giving us this super cool new design of Ermac and not using it? I hope they use it in the next game. They might not even do it. It might just be a skin, but they might have like another skin for Ermac and stuff like that. And so in this poker joke, the ending is his new design is completely wasted. So I just revert back to his MKX design. So that was kind of the joke. And that's it. We did it. I don't know how long the video will be, but I have been recording for 2 hours just talking about my video. So yeah, I'm starting to run out of my breath, but that was awesome. I had a good time just talking about my video. And now I'm going to end this off by looking at some Q&A questions that I received on Twitter and Discord. So let's go through them. So let me start with my Twitter, because I did not get too many questions here. By the way, I'm only using light mode so you guys can see it more clearer. Okay, that's the only reason why it's on light mode. I usually don't have it like that. I feel like I have to mention that because someone in the comments is going to be like, oh, why is he in light mode? Every single time. Okay, so Alex Peterson says, did I have more than one draft of the script? No, I wrote everything down. So it's more or less I had like stuff that I used and didn't use more or less, but it was mostly just one draft throughout the video. David Grimm asks, if you were in charge of this movie's direction or writing, do you think you could save the movie from being a flop? No. And the reason is because I'm not a writer. I am just a silly little YouTuber. Writing and creating something is completely different from critiquing something. I can complain all I want, but what goes into creating a movie and all that kind of stuff is out of my league. And I absolutely respect people who try their best to make movies and medias and games and whatnot. So there's no way I could fix this movie. I mean, I could try, but I'm not a writer. I don't have the skills to do it, in my opinion. I believe in Mr. Four Snake, though. I'll say that. Alex Peterson says, how easy hard was it for you to make fun of this movie? And he also adds MKX and MK11. It's not necessarily too hard. I actually have a lot of ideas in my head before I even write it out. So if I tell myself, okay, if I have all these ideas, then I'll make fun of this because I have the passion. I have like reason to make fun of this movie. I mean, of course, making a video is hard, but coming up with the ideas, wanting to make fun of it, that part isn't too hard for me. Varit Sauce, is that Nikocado Avocado? Whatever. If KK in the second one, his Arcana better be wheelchair or I'm throwing hands. Hell yeah. Fluffbud asks, do you have reptilian okay, we'll go to the next one. Jacob the Wolf Spirit says, I know the answer might be obvious, but was this video difficult to make, difficult to edit? I guess so. This was like the most effort I put into a video. So in a way, yes, it is like a very, very hard video to make, but I wouldn't say it was something that I couldn't make. Like it required new skills, or like, oh, I need to learn 3D or I need to learn a new program and stuff like that. It was at least in the range of like abilities that I could do. Most of the why it was hard was definitely because of the amount of time I had to spend editing and like coming up with the ideas. Ultimate Lude, with a Knuckles profile picture, okay, says, what inspired you to make the Suck series? Was it just genuine love for the MK series that you wanted to critique, or you wanted to just shitpost MK videos like your YTPs while adding critiques? Honestly, if I were to talk about the origins as to why I made the MK Sucks videos, I'd have to go back to 2015 me, because that's when I made my MKX Sucks videos, and honestly, that's really not easy for me to think of as to why I decided to do the Sucks series. I can say that I actually loved making fun of NRS stuff since the Injustice. That was my first video I made fun of NetherRealm Studio stuff, and you could say this is kind of like a love-hate relationship because I do like NetherRealm Studios. I love following and seeing what they do next. So, and I also just love making fun of their stuff. So in a sense, like because I made fun of the Injustice series, I also decided to make fun of the MKX series, and then Injustice 2, and then MK11. I remember because I did the MKX Sucks videos, I felt like I had to do it for MK11 too. So that's why I just randomly did it back in 2019. It did not get a lot of views, so I just thought, yeah, whatever, just, you know, three simple videos. But then it did garner a lot of views, so I just continued on. So really, it's just because I became popular making the MK Sucks videos that I decided, you know, I'll just keep doing it because people liked it. Hey, Mr. Four Snake asked, rank the Suck 2021, Scorpion's Revenge, and MK11. So this is a little bit hard for me to rank in terms of which one sucks the most because there's two of them that are movies and one of them is a game. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rank how much I think the MK11 story sucks instead of like the gameplay itself, because that's kind of hard to compare with movies. I think I would rank it in terms of how bad they are. 2021 is the worst, and then MK11, and then Scorpion's Revenge. Scorpion's Revenge is the best out of these three. In terms of like how fun it was to make fun of them, I think because I made the most stuff about MK11, so I will always have a soft spot for that. MK 2021, I freaking made a 70-minute for that, so I'm pretty sure I had a lot I could talk about. And then Scorpion's Revenge. While Scorpion's Revenge, I have the least amount of things to critique about it, there definitely was a lot of thought put into that too, and I still had a lot of fun making that one. By the way, Snake, where's your MK11 critique video? Drake JoJo says, are your friends single? Last I checked, yes. I mean, you know, if you guys want to have, you know, dude is very good at cooking and is a computer fixing expert. So if you're into that kind of stuff, or, you know, you got Ree here who will talk about conspiracy theories for like a whole entire hour. So if you're into that sort of thing, you know, I could give you their numbers or something. Dork Knight 2008123 says, what's next? Probably Battle of the Realms. And after that, I don't know, but we'll see. I have ideas, but for now, I'm just going to try to focus on whatever I can with Battle of the Realms. Okay, next are questions that I received on my Discord, which I believe were a lot more. So here we go. David F. Sandberg Simp I mean, me too, says, will you ever do a no. Tim Bomber says, if you could change anything, and I mean anything to the movie to make it better, what would it be? I know the obvious answer would be like Cole Young and stuff like that, but honestly, I think if they removed Raiden or changed him completely, that would fix the movie a ton. Because Raiden is like a plot point that just is annoying. It's like, oh, he's super OP. He can teleport characters around. He makes the situation less threatening. He also makes the situation weird. It's like, oh, why don't you just say them? Why don't you just teleport them? You're so OP and stuff like that. So I think removing that character would benefit the movie, in my opinion. Should hating Koyon become a religion? Sure, go ahead. Moopy says, are you a Reptile enthusiast? Yes. If you're given the choice to add any one of the characters into the movie, which characters would you include in it? I mean, I agree with the notion of putting Johnny Cage in it, but I'm sure the filmmakers had a lot planned that they just did not want Johnny Cage to be in it or something like that. Who else? I mean, of course I like Ermac, but I don't know if it's a good idea to put him in this early on. Not now, but I would like to see Kenshi. I don't know, I just think he would be interesting to see in the movies. Oh, and if you're gonna put Mileena, then you should have put Katana, in my opinion. You should have used Katana. Do you think this movie was better than the other two before it? So I would assume the other two before it is Scorpion's Revenge and Mortal Kombat Annihilation. And I think Scorpion's Revenge is a better movie. And I appreciate Scorpion's Revenge a lot more after watching Mortal Kombat 2021. Mortal Kombat 2021 is objectively better than Annihilation. I have to say that. However, I freaking love Annihilation. And I might say more about Annihilation in the future, but for now, I would say Scorpion's Revenge is better, but 2021 is better than Annihilation. What are the hardest and longest parts of the video to make besides finger cam? This is a very interesting question because even I'm not 100% certain. I mean, writing a script took me the longest because it did take me like 3 weeks, but that's not really editing. If I were to say, in terms of editing, there's a lot of parts of it that just took me 1 or 2 hours, but it didn't take me like a whole entire day just to edit something. It took me like a whole entire day to edit like 5 minutes of the video, but not in terms of a single thing in the video. But the ones that can come to my mind would be the Odd Ones Out parody with like the body pillow and the phone part. I did that at the same time, and that took me about like an hour or two. The Shang Tsung shaking his head to the beat edit, that took me about an hour. That was a lot of fun. The poker joke, yeah. Despite it looking like a really cheap animated kind of style, there was a lot of effort and thought put into those, in my opinion. And by a lot of effort, I mean at least like 2 hours of editing. But overall, I would say the finger cam part did take me the longest. It took me the longest to put on the nail polish. It took me the longest to film, to come up with the script, and also edit the snake part. That actually did take some time to do too. What would be Cold Turkey's animality? Turkey. Well, if they actually did an animality, oh, please do that. Oh my gosh, I want them to do that. If Ko Young had an animality, probably be just the dragon. No, that's Liu Kang. Whatever they would give Scorpion, like a Scorpion persona. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Why didn't you use Sub-Zero's such wasted potential voice line? I mean, I cucked you guys. I'm sorry, but I wanted to use the Josh Lawson's wasted potential line. Is there a chance that MK2 will be any good? I'm assuming that's a sequel. As I stated, I think there is. I think there is a chance. I kind of believe in them. What would you say was the best and worst film you've seen in theaters in 2021? Oh, Pig is awesome, by the way. I would say I did not watch a lot of movies in the theater. 90% of the movies that I watched were in the comfort of my own home. I think the only 2 movies I watched that were in theaters this year was Mortal Kombat and Suicide Squad. So Mortal Kombat was the worst and Suicide Squad was the best. What do you think would be better, Kano or Johnny Cage? I think that's what they're asking the question. Like, Kano had his moment to shine, so I think, and if they can write Kano that funny, just get a great actor to play Johnny Cage, and I think you guys will have a great Johnny Cage in the sequel too. And I would not mind having Kano like revived and return in the future too. If there was one thing you could change about Reptile in this movie, what would it be? If I could only change one thing, then I think this one thing could fix Reptile easily. Make him wear a ninja suit. You don't even need to change his like lizard appearance or make him more, or you can make him more human. That would actually save budget. And at the end, when he like reveals, he can just take out the mask and look like a lizard and stuff like that. Or just make him wear a ninja suit. That's it. I think that would help tremendously for many Reptile fans. Are we gonna get a camera reaction from you and Saya when y'all react to Battle of the Realms? Sadly, I don't think so, because my brother is going to go back to, he's a teacher. He's going to go back to work when Battle of the Realms comes out. And when Battle of the Realms comes out, I want to immediately watch that. So I don't think I'm going to be able to have a reaction with my brother, which I really wish I could. But I might have a reaction with some other YouTuber, or maybe, who knows, wink wink. Jedi Master Homer asks, what software do you edit with? I primarily use Sony Vegas, but I also use Photoshop for some edits and thumbnails. I use After Effects for some of the effects in this video, so the Invincible title card, the Raiden lightning stuff, and like the poker scenes, I use After Effects for that. I really think I need to use some other editing. I like Sony Vegas, but I genuinely feel like I need to learn some other editing programs because there are some things that Sony Vegas is a little limited. Yeah, those are my editing software. What kind of characters do you think will be in the sequel? Johnny Cage, Katana, Jade. I want to see Kenshi, but I mean, Striker, I guess, maybe. And Kentaro, because they already killed off Goro. Oh, and Shao Kahn, of course. They gotta show Shao Kahn. If they did get Johnny Cage in the sequel, do you think they will go with some star power like Ryan Reynolds or some no-name actor? Honestly, if Ryan Reynolds plays Johnny Cage, I wouldn't mind too much, but he would not be my first pick, though, because Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool humor, and I don't think Deadpool humor is necessarily Johnny Cage, in my opinion. But I really can't think of who to play Johnny Cage, so yeah. Will anyone consult with the Elder Gods in the sequel? Nope, because this franchise sucks. What's your favorite MK game for each era? That's too complicated, so I'll save that question for another time to answer. Dummy thick rep. Okay, what is going on? I was hoping to get questions. Why is there a whole conversation here? Sonic, is your AC shut. Okay, I know in my Arcana video I didn't turn my AC off, but hey, just so you guys know, I've been recording for 3 hours in like a 30-degree, which is about like 100 Fahrenheit over there, setting, and I have not turned on my air conditioning for the past 3 hours, so I am sweating like a pig, just for you guys, okay? Hope you appreciate it. Hope you appreciate it, Zaitan! KK in a wheelchair. KK in a wheelchair. He becomes the Johnny Joestar chair. Oh, okay. Would you have preferred it to be more classic like an MK tournament plot? Yes, I don't mind the creators trying to go out their way and doing different things. I mean, that's what they did for Scorpion's Revenge too. They made it like a battle royale, and in this movie they made it like a before the tournament and stuff like that. But if the end product like sucks or like really does, or these changes don't benefit really compared to like what they have already established, then no, I don't think they should change it. I think they should just stick with a regular plot. And that's why Mortal Kombat 1995 works in my opinion, because they didn't change it from the original plot too much. If the new thing doesn't work, then you should have stuck with the old thing. More Tremor, less Cole, more Tremor, less Cole. Okay. I like Tremor. He's cool. Rock dude. Rock ninja dude. Yes, I started a movement. You started a tremor. Who would win in a wheelchair contest? KK or Mr. Plinkett? Those are two very, very, very high beings. This is a philosophical question. SonicHaXD love to Reptile. Nothing is greater than that. Okay, I'll like your emojis here. Do you think that MK 2021 movie would be better if the villains were knocked out instead of having instantaneous fatalities done on them? Also, do you think the movie would have done better if there was less characters? Yes and yes, honestly. Maybe they should have made OC jobbers just so that they can get killed off. Because by having Mileena, by having Reptile, these characters that a lot of people like, just show up as jobbers, that'll offend a lot of those fans. And you should have just instead made it like, oh, that's not like Mileena, that's just like a random Tarkatan or something like that. And people wouldn't be as offended. It's like you're using these legendary characters so wastefully, in my opinion. And that's one thing I think Scorpion's Revenge does good, which is they have a lot of no-name Black Dragons and Lin Kuei just to kill off, just to showcase, oh, how cool Scorpion is and all those other characters. And yeah, I think the movie should have been less characters, just they just have the characters just thrown in front of you just to kill off. It's just kind of messy. Which again, I'm gonna compliment Scorpion's Revenge because that movie didn't have that many characters compared to 2021. What is up with all the Reptile simps going on in my chat right now? How would you feel if characters didn't say dumb shit like flawless victory or fatality? I'm not gonna lie, I'm completely fine with them saying dumb shit like that, because if they can say dumb shit like that in the 1995 movie and get away with it, I think it's fine if they say in the 2021 movie, in my opinion at least. How do I feel about Cabal's accent? It's fine. Why don't they I would appreciate a tour or something, but I don't think I would help much if I would make a movie. Maybe a fan movie, but not like an action movie. I wish we had a compilation of all the Cole puns we caught. Oh, that's a good idea actually. Maybe I could do that for like a separate video just for fun. Oh my gosh, there's a pun generating website? This would have been super useful, man. Shut your cake, Cole. If you had to rewrite a single character from the MK 2020 film, who would it be and why? I was gonna say Ko Young. Come on, mate. Alright. I guess I would look for the antagonist then. Because Shang Tsung is very pathetic in this movie. Well, not pathetic, he's just very bleh. Like, I don't really think they did a good job portraying him as like a menacing and interesting villain. And he is the main villain. He's the main Outworld villain. So I feel like they should have made him better. So I would go for Shang Tsung if I can't go for Ko Young. How many hours did it take to make the Ko puns? I wouldn't say too long. I mean, it was my script writing process, so it's just kind of like bitty bits and bits. I did spend about an hour just looking up like media, like going through anime, being like oh, all Naruto characters, and I'll see who has like names that sound like O or Ko or stuff like that, and I could use the Ko puns and stuff like that. So most of them came from like Pokemon in the end. Are there any skits you had in mind for the video that didn't make it in? If so, what were they and why were they cut? Skits? I don't know. I think I have every skit in there. You know, the poker joke, the finger cam parts. Did I have any skits I cut out? No, I can't think of anything. Most of the skits I had planned, I did do. I do have cut out scenes and things that I wanted to edit, but in terms of like high budget skits, not really. I think I had all the ones that I did want to put in, like, and I had them like thought up for a while too. Do you think this will be the longest video of your whole channel? I mean, it's not. My longest video on my channel is the podcast, which is over 4 hours, so wah, wah. It is the longest sucks video though. It is, and it's definitely the most effort I put into making a video though. How was the theater experience? So back when I watched it during April, that was like a much more light COVID situation. So like the rules in the theater was like, you know, you have to put on a mask unless if you're eating. And we were eating fried chicken that whole time, so I barely wore the mask in the theater because of that. There were only about like 20-ish people in the theaters, and so I guess that's why I was a lot more loud and laughing in it. I remember I got like this one comment before that kind of hurt me, and it was saying like, it was like in my review, and I think it was response because I was laughing at Mileena's death, and they were saying like, I bet it would be super annoying sitting next to you, and I was like, oh, that kind of hurt in my opinion. But I would say like in the theater, despite us laughing so much and being loud, there were like another young group of people in front of us who were also very loud, and there was like people behind us eating food with like super loud plastic bags and stuff like that. Nobody really cared, to be honest, and I think that was great. Overall, I think it was a good experience. The last time I had a theater experience with the Suicide Squad movie, the pandemic is a little bit more harsh nowadays. Like the theaters weren't even open last month, but now they're open again, and now we had to sit like 6 feet apart and we couldn't eat and stuff like that. So I would say the theater experience was a little better back in April, but it was still a good experience for the Suicide Squad. At least that's what I will say. What was it like to watch all of the Four Snakes footage he sent you? I was very honored to be able to be sent that private video for me, and I got to enjoy his outtakes. It was awesome. I had a lot of fun. Which video took the most effort in terms of clips and editing? MK 2021. However, interestingly enough though, MK 2021 and Scorpion's Revenge took me about the same amount of time. I spent about 2 months making both of those videos. In fact, I had plans for Scorpion's Revenge half a year before even started editing it. So planning wise, I think I did plan more for Scorpion's Revenge, but I did a lot more for MK 2021. I spent a lot of budget for this video too. So I would say effort wise and editing and all that stuff, MK 2021 took me a lot of time. But Scorpion's Revenge was like a big video too. That would be the biggest video I made before 2021. I get there's a lot of cover, but why 70 minutes? Fun fact though, I planned the video to be 50 minutes originally, because when I had all the text-to-speech stuff done and I like spaced it all out, I estimated the video to be 50 minutes. But then after editing it, after adding all the stuff, the finger cam part turned out to be a lot longer than I expected, and I added more and more and more stuff, and it just turned to 70 minutes. Do you feel like Simon is going to retcon Cole's name? No. Oh, that would be awesome. But no, I don't think they will. I mean, because like Cassie didn't get retconned, so I don't think so. Why do you love Ko Young so much? I mean, I understand that he's a great character with very interesting backstory. I enjoy him as well, but you seem to be weirdly fascinated with him. Yeah, you know, when you hate somebody so much, you start to notice that maybe this isn't hate. Maybe this is a different feeling. Maybe Louis Tan's sexy, juicy pecs have really changed my perspective. Nah, I'm just kidding. I fucking hate Cole Young. I really hate him. Nice face reveal. Have you considered to make a young Shang Tsung cosplay? I got comments of people saying like, oh, you look like a no wrinkled version of Shang Tsung, or you look like Liu Kang because of my long hair. I don't know. Maybe in the future, if I stream or have special events, I could consider cosplaying them. I think it'd be kind of fun. Why not? But I mean, I'll take that as a very nice compliment. Thank you guys for saying that I look like Liu Kang and Shang Tsung. I got the hoodie from a parent's friend 10 years ago. So yeah, I don't know the origins of that. Oh great, he has more Cole puns. I really don't need more Cole puns anymore. But thank you. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, so many Cole puns. This movie sucks so much it gave me Cole-vid. Haha. Yo, do you think KK will be in the second movie? Nope. I mean, no reason to, really. I mean, if we're talking about lore-wise, he's still stuck in Shang Tsung's pit, and like, you know, he can't be Khan unless Shao Kahn's defeated, you know. So I don't think he's gonna be in the next movie. However, I wouldn't mind seeing him though. Not gonna lie, I think it'd be fun. I'm happy there's a reference of him in the 2021 movie though. I have a question for you. Be honest. Do you want to fuck the lizard man? Do you want his scaly, oily chest on your funny dinosaur face? Do you want him to crush your skull with his leathery thighs? I want him to crush my skull with his leathery thighs after reading this question. Oh my gosh, why is that the last question? Oh well. But yeah, so there we go. That was the Q&A session of this video. Wow, this is kind of a big moment for me because I'm finally done doing Mortal Kombat 2021 stuff. I mean, if I make any more videos, it'd probably be some small stuff or maybe sequel related stuff, but I finally have gotten everything I wanted to say about this movie out of my system. I've been doing nothing but Mortal Kombat 2021 stuff for like a third of this whole entire year, for the past 4 months, and I'm really happy to finally be done with it. This movie actually had a lot, and I had a lot of fun, to be honest, despite, and I still think this is a bad movie, but I still enjoyed it. I still had fun with it, and I had fun, and I had a really good time with this journey, and I'm glad to finally close this chapter up. I think my subscribers are starting to get sick of my 2021 content too. Hopefully Battle of the Realms and maybe 1995 stuff in the future. Hopefully you guys will like that too when I start to make that stuff. That's it. How long have I been recording? I have been recording for 3 hours. Woo! Thank you all so much for watching, and if you stick to the end and watch this whole thing, I really, really, really appreciate that. And I will see you guys later. Bye bye!